Guys, to start class, let's pull out our books. Go to page 243. And we're going to do a modification of. Danny, make sure you have one of each of those papers. Grab one of each of those papers over there. Okay, so on 243, all right, question 5 for research. It says, identify a product that many of your classmates use regularly. Prepare a 5-question survey to determine their feelings about the strengths and weaknesses. What I want you guys to do is, we're going to modify this a little bit. Pull out a scrap piece of paper. Does anybody need a scrap piece of paper? Or you can even use like the back side of one of your notes papers. That's fine. So one of your notes papers you had, use the back side of that. And real quick, think of a product or service that you use often. Just write down the top of your paper. So does everybody have a product or service written down? Need a pencil? Okay. Alright, so does everybody have one written down? Okay, so what we're going to do now is, you're going to prepare a 5-question survey to determine classmates' feelings. So it says that you're going to interview 10 people. We're not going to do that. All right, we're just going to do this in class right now to get started on what we're going to talk about. So we'll just partner up. So you guys will partner up, you two can partner up, and then you three can work together. So you've written down your product or service. Okay, now think about 5 general questions you could ask somebody about the strengths and weaknesses of the product or service they use. All right, and then you're going to ask, so like Matt's going to ask Daquan what his product is, ask him his questions, and then answer those. Okay, so think of 5 kind of general questions that we've talked about with marketing so far. So what are the 4 P's we talked about? Place, so where you buy it from. So when you're writing a question, maybe think about where they might buy the product or service from. What's another P? Somebody else? Price. So it's a price point. Okay. Charlie, what's another one? We got price, place. Oh, your name's not Charlie, right? Hold on. Price, place. Hold on. Your name's not Charlie either. All right. Somebody help her? What'd you say? Product. Okay. Product's another one. So what specifically goes into the product? And we're gonna discuss more of that today, and then promotion. So maybe advertising or how it's that thing's advertised. All right. So go ahead, write down 5 questions that you'll ask your partner. You have 2 minutes, and then you can talk with your partner about their product or service and the questions you have. All right, so go ahead, get with your partner, and one partner read off the product they chose, and the other partner ask them questions about that product or service, and then switch roles and make sure you're writing down what their answers are. And then you three in the back just work together, okay? So you guys will rotate around. So maybe instead of, since they're partnering and asking 4 or 5 questions each, you guys just ask like 2 of your questions to each other, so a total of 4 questions. But it's like if you two are asking Brianna about her product, just ask 2 from each of yours that are the same, okay? And then just rotate. You guys need to slide together, you can't. You three, if you need to just circle up or something, that's fine. Alright, so here, I'll help you guys. Okay, we'll say, Danny, name your product or service. Okay, so now you girls each ask them 2 questions that you wrote down about your shampoo. Oh, no, so, what's the question you wrote down in the survey somebody about the product?
I thought we were supposed to write questions.
Based on your product?
Yeah.
Okay, I should explain that. No, you're just coming up with general questions that you survey. So I'm going to teach you about this today. I'm not going to wait until you guys think about this. Alright, so, okay, so what's the question? What was your product? Okay, so questions that you wrote down probably don't pertain to shampoo. What's a question you could ask them about shampoo that pertains to that specific product? Thinking about those 4 P's. 2 or 3.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So Brianna, what's the question you might have? Shampoo based on like product or place of promotion.
We need
Or pricing. So we already kind of covered pricing.
what do you like most about
Okay, so does the brand? So this, let's word it a little different. Does the brand play a factor in you purchasing shampoo? Yes, that's a good question. Okay, these are kind of quiet. We're going to talk about market research. That's questions I would ask. Okay, so what was your product or service? Cell phone. Okay, so we'll just combine yours together. Okay, so what's the question you could ask about cell phone?
do you like a specific brand?
All right, so does brand matter? Yes, no. Yes, iPhone, Samsung.
What do you think could be improved upon your product?
Okay, so next question you could ask follow up. Okay, so if brand matters, why does why do you prefer Samsung over this?
Yeah. Right.
Well, what's the okay. All right, so family. Sorry. So what's the reason? Do you like yours for a certain reason, or you don't like the headphones on? Okay. All right. Are you guys done? Okay. All right, guys. So okay, so as we're in the back group, I probably could explain this a little bit better, but so today we're gonna talk about market research a little bit. And we're gonna look at like an actual example of a marketing strategy that failed for a company. But some of the questions you're developing, like I was telling them, one of the questions that came up is, so Danny's product example was shampoo. So the girls asked him, I think Brianna asked him, does brand matter? So does the brand of shampoo matter? So that's a question you could survey somebody about. To him, it does. Okay, why does that brand matter? There's follow-up questions on it. Okay, so that's kind of what I was trying to get you guys to think. Okay, so let's pull out our notes. We'll go. So here's the plan. Then we're going to go through notes. Notes quick. Again, I did the same thing like I did the other day. So there's some spots you have to fill in. We'll try to use some real examples as I'm going through stuff so you have an idea. So just ask questions if you're not sure. And then we're going to go through a sort of, if you want to call it a case study, but we're going to go through pretty loosely about a marketing strategy that failed. And then Mrs. Brzezinski wants me to go through your business plan with you guys for your companies, and we'll get you started on thinking about a product or service for that, and then I'll talk to you about some fundraising examples or capital raising examples you guys can use once we get to that point. Okay, so today we're starting on 10.2, which is develop effective products and services. Okay, so that's kind of why I was leading you guys in with that activity. All right, so our first step to create improved products. Okay, there's 3 areas. You have totally new products. Okay, so you guys think of a product that's been introduced in your lifetime that maybe, so you guys are all like 15 roughly, so can everybody think of a product that was introduced in the last 15 years? A product that was never around 15, so in 2001 this product didn't exist. So like a tablet maybe?
Yeah.
Like iPad or a tablet? Yeah. I don't think they were around then, so that's a good example. Alright, so we're going to use that as our running example here. Okay, so a new product, totally new, never seen it before. Okay, that's what it is. It's not, we've talked about product modifications last class, so like iPad came out and then Samsung came out with theirs, and there's the Kindle or whatever. Okay, so there's all kinds of examples of offshoots of it where companies try to improve on it. And so that would be an example of maybe a major improvement. And the example I wrote down for you guys would be new technology on cell phones, but we can use the iPad as an example. So what would have been some improvements from like the iPad, maybe the initial one, to now? If anybody, if you don't have an iPad, maybe we can think about iPhones too. It's the same kind of concept technology-wise, or phones in general. So what were some new technologies they could have been used to improve?
Waterproof.
Okay, so maybe waterproof, so the durability of the actual machine. Okay, Danny, what's another one? The fingerprint scanning, so as far as the touch screen and all that, that would be one. Okay, that's good. And then minor improvements, so an example, I wrote down updated software for cell phones. Same thing for iPads, okay? Every once in a while you guys get software updates on no matter what phone you have, okay? Or your iPad, computer, to software update. Those are minor updates that might affect the performance of the machine, but ultimately don't change a whole lot about it, just little tiny things, okay? But major improvements are kind of more the physical or things that it can do. Does that make sense? Okay. So we were just talking about marketing research, and those questions I kind of had you guys asking each other leads into this. So there's 5 steps in marketing research. I'll put them all up here, and I can fill in a few. Okay. So the first step is defining the marketing problem. Okay. And at the bottom here, I think, I can't remember if it's on your printout or not, it may be, but I'll put it up here. I put the example of New Coke, and we'll talk about this in a few minutes. There's a case study of, so Coca-Cola in, I believe it was 1985, yes, 1985, decided to reformulate, so it's a while ago, but this is like the most historic example of a bad marketing campaign. So in 1985, they decided to develop a new formula for Coke that had been around for 100 years. And try to re-advertise it and explain to everybody that it was better. And within like a couple of months, it fell apart and it actually hurt their brand and helped Pepsi's brand. Okay, so that would be the problem that we're going to get into. Okay, study the situation. Obviously, what would be some things you would study in that case? So you, let's say we're Coke, we put out this new product. Okay, it stops working. What are some things we could study? Why people didn't like it, right? So the taste, probably, like I said, there's new formulas with the taste. And I'm thinking about our competitors, thinking about Pepsi. So, what could you study about Pepsi? That they might be doing better than us if we're Coke.
Probably like my word, they sell it.
Okay, so
Price.
the place of it, the price, and the promotion, right? So those 4 P's will keep coming back. All right. So then we would develop a data collection procedure. So what I just have you guys do within your groups, you're asking each other questions, surveys, to what? To collect data, right? So those are the kind of questions that analysts would ask, okay? You're going to figure out, okay, so let's talk about like Coke, okay? So why don't you like this new formula? Is one of the things they would ask. What's it taste different? Whatever. Pepsi tastes better. Okay, why does Pepsi taste better? Have you guys seen, it was probably the last 5-10 years, there was a commercial on TV. They used to like blind taste test people for Pepsi or Coke or whatever it might be, so they don't tell you what it is, and and then they try to say, Pepsi tastes better because 9 out of 10 people should. Have you guys seen something like that? Okay, so same thing. All right. So then they're going to gather all that information, analyze it. How does it factor in? All right, and then ultimately propose a solution. Okay, so what can we do to fix this? Well, in this example, they went back to their old formula because why fix a bad thing, basically, or a good thing, basically? Except you'll see they did something called rebranding it, which means basically take a product that is already working, kind of rebrand it, and make it sound different than it actually is, even though it's the same thing. So they just started calling it like the same old. I think we'll look at it in here. I think it referred to it as like the same old Coca-Cola taste. So they just went back to the old formula, made it sound new, and then everybody thought it was different, and now it was better, even though it was the same thing. Okay. So types of research studies. Okay. There's 4 of them here. All right. So there's surveys. We just talked about surveys. It's what you guys did a little bit of. Okay, focus groups. Who can tell me what a focus group would be? Has anybody heard that term? So, okay, it's a collection of people to determine what? What would we try to determine? So you guys could be a focus group because you guys are all, it's usually people that can kind of fit into certain categories. You guys are all high school students. So you guys could be considered a focus group. So if I was a marketer, okay, what would you guys be doing for me if I used you as a focus group? So you're all high school students, so you're in a specific category. I'm sorry. So see if our product, see why or why not you might like our product or service. Okay, so you're gonna pick. Usually they'll pick somebody that would likely use this product or service, and then focus on it to see if those people, a smaller sample size, approve of it. They do this a lot of times too. With like TV shows. All right, so before TV shows get on television, they'll have their first show, which is called a pilot, okay? And they'll bring a group of people together, like a focus group, and they'll watch the pilot. Like, let's say they'll bring 100 people together, okay? And all those people score it on different things, and that'll help networks determine if they actually want to put that show on TV. Because if those 100 people don't like it, then why put it on TV? So a lot of times before TV shows get put on TV, that's what they do. All right, so same kind of thing. Observations, okay? These are not questions, but watch your consumers. So what marketing research firms would do is, let's say they're looking at a product at a certain store, they'd send people in and just watch how consumers interact with those certain products. Okay, so like Danny with your shampoo example, all right, they would send people and see why people might be selecting certain shampoos. Does it have to do with the packaging, the price, okay, number of factors. They're not questions, they're just observing. Okay, and then experiments. So you would present 2 carefully controlled alternatives to a subject. So you basically that's just comparing 2 products within a same overall product type. So like shampoo, you'd be basically comparing 2 types of brands. Or with a phone, it would be just comparing an iPhone to a Galaxy or something. Okay, that's all that experiment is. It just compares 2 evenly matched product types. Okay, product planning. All right. We have 5 basic parts of a product. We have a basic product. So Brianna, give me a product. Like a basic, not an actual brand, maybe like a basic product. What? Toothpaste? Okay, so toothpaste. All right, so that's our basic product. Okay, what could be some features within toothpaste? So start throwing some out. So how well it cleans. Flavored, okay, that's a good one. Whitening, okay. Any other ones we can think of? Those are 3 pretty big ones, pretty common ones. Okay, so brand name. All right, you have Colgate, Crest, Sensodyne. All right, so those are your brand names. That's what falls into a product. Okay, the packaging. You notice, like, I think Colgate uses bright red boxes. Crest uses like bluish teal, if I remember correctly. Okay, why would a company be concerned about their packaging?
Because package is like what catches people eye.
Yeah, you You want it to stick out, especially when it's something like toothpaste, right? I would say most people in general just want to buy toothpaste and might not care about the brand, but if they see a package stick out and then on the package it says in nice big lettering, 99.9% effective against all mouth germs or whatever, all right, might stick out. You buy it, you get home, it tastes good in your mouth, it cleans your teeth, then you just buy it forever. Okay, so that's why they consider about packaging. And then guarantee warranty. I'm not sure what kind of guarantee or warranty toothpaste would have. But a lot of times you'll have these like computers, phones, different things. I'm sure you guys all know. They're warranted under certain conditions, breaking, water damage, etc. Okay. So more product planning steps. All right. We have our procedures. Okay. So steps to plan a product. So we just kind of went through an example of toothpaste of what goes into a product. This would be how you would get there. All right, so you'd have your idea development. All right, so let's say you're Crest, and you have a new toothpaste you want to come out with. Okay, so let's say it's bubblegum flavor, but it's going to do whitening and all that stuff. All right, so that would be your idea development. Okay, your screening. All right, so let me step back real quick. So idea development, you could have several ideas. Let's say they want to come out with a new toothpaste type. Okay, and we're the marketers, and we come up with 5 different flavors and 5 different things it does, and we pick the best one. We're going to do that by screening. Okay, so you're going to choose the best idea and compare it to other companies. Well, Colgate might already have it out. Maybe it's not worth our time to invent that because they already have control of the market, so we might not make any money on it. All right, so you choose the best idea. All right, then strategy development. How can we market the product? So that would be pricing, promotion, okay, what kind of packaging you use. All right, and then production and financial planning. That's still getting more into the pricing. How much does it cost to make it? How efficient can we be? Can we make a profit? All right, and then you're going to limit production and test marketing. All right, so that was like a focus group. You give it certain people to try it before mass producing it, right? You don't want to just mass produce something and have it fail, okay? So you limit the quantity. All right, and then ultimately, if it passes the focus group, you have full-scale production. All right, last couple things here. We're going to talk about services real quick as it relates to some things we just talked about with products, okay? So we have 4 areas underneath services. All right, services are intangible, right? We know tangible means something that has physical form. Intangible means there's no physical form. We've talked about this already. What are some business types that are services? Start throwing some out. What are some business services? What? Lawyer. What else? Dentist, doctor. Okay. Hairstylist. Teacher. Teacher. Yeah. All services. Okay. All right. They're inseparable. That means they're consumed at the same time they're produced. So a product would be separable because you could purchase something. It doesn't mean you have to consume it. That means use it when you buy it. But a service, all right, you're consuming it same time that it's produced. So like a service would be a taxi or an Uber ride. Okay, you would request that, and it's being produced at the same time as you're using it right then. Make sense? Perishable just means cannot be stored for later consumption. Heterogeneous, it's a difference in type of quality and service provided. Okay, so like I mentioned, taxi and Uber, those are car transportation services. That would be the big umbrella they fall underneath. Okay, and then there's a difference between the type and the quality. Does everybody know what Uber is? I think we've talked about it before. It's basically people that pick up other people, and it's an app on your phone. It's alternative to taxis. So it's different type than what taxis have been, and the quality's different. So that would be the difference there. Okay? So do we have any questions on that? All right, let's look at, I'm going to flash this back a few slides real quick. Let's look at this quote article real quick. So as you get it, just start reading it. or the class meeting on class So everybody's done reading through it. So okay, so what were a couple of the marketing? I think there's two different marketing problems that Coca-Cola faced. What were a couple of the problems? So what were some issues they were having that led them to develop new code? Let's start there. So look on. Already it's second page where it's the middle of the page where it says factors that shape the launch decision. Okay. There's some examples in there of why Coke was failing or falling. Maybe not failing. So what were some reasons?
The flagship market, the flagship product have been slowly slipping for 15 consecutive years.
Yeah, so 15 years they've been losing their place within the cola industry. Okay, and then Coca-Cola company's share lead over its chief competitor was falling off. So chief competitors who Pepsi. Okay. All right, so those are a couple of the problems that led them to develop New Coke. Okay, so then when they developed New Coke with the new formula, what became the big marketing issue then? So what happened when New Coke came out? What did consumers want? They wanted the old product back. Okay, they already had all this. They're already advertising New Coke out there. So that was a marketing problem. All right, how do we fix this? Everybody sees that the New Coke's out there. It doesn't taste as good. They don't like the packaging. Okay, so what do? We study the situation. Okay, so they studied it and they collected data. I think it's let's see,
Like from 1,000 people.
well so what they did was we'll talk about that in a second. They developed. So the second paragraph underneath factors that shape the launch decision says the fabled secret formula for Coca-Cola was changed, adopting a formula preferred in taste tests of nearly 200,000. So actually, the reason they did New Coke is because they used a focus group. They taste tested it. 200,000 people approved of it. Okay, but what the test didn't show, it says, was the bond consumers felt with Coca-Cola. So consumers are more focused on the brand than maybe the actual taste. Okay, and consumers didn't want Coke messing with it. All right, so basically the data that they looked at was they had people calling in. If you look at the second page, or the end of the second page and the beginning of the third page, Coca-Cola company was getting 1,500 calls a day on its consumer hotline, and they were only getting 400 before they released New Coke. Okay, so consumers were anxious and pushing for the old formula. Okay, so they gathered their information. Now, what was their solution? They brought back old Coke, and what did they rebrand it as?
Coke 2.
Well, no, New Coke was. What did they rebrand? So they got rid of. They're getting rid of New Coke. Yeah. Coca-Cola Classic. So they just basically said, "Here's the old formula back. Let's make you happy." Okay, and it did. And now, obviously, you guys know Coke is still doing well. I mean, there's different flavors and different things now, but they still have the same. They still call it Coca-Cola Classic. Okay, and that's going back to 1985 when they screwed up this situation. So you can see how marketing, that's sort of a marketing issue, sort of a product adjustment issue. It's not planned out just right. If you don't see all sides of it, especially the marketing side of it, it can affect the product to where, fortunately for Coke, they got the consumers back because they had such a strong brand loyalty, but it did take them still years after 1985 to kind of fully regain from it. Does that make sense? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is, this is your business plan explanation of the project with the rubric on the back side of it. So make sure you do not lose this because it's all the information you're going to need for business plan. Okay, so you can look through this a little bit, and then this is Mrs. Basinski's plan, so she will go with it through you through through it with you at some point. Like I said, your rubric's attached on the back. And so today we are going to talk about, we'll get in groups in a little bit and start working on some of it. Before we do that, we're going to talk about raising capital. Which, what does capital mean? What is capital as it relates to business? You guys already grabbed those sheets right here. So what is capital? It's on your sheet. So it's money, assets, what you have. Okay? So you have 4 numbers listed below. We're going to talk about 4 ways that you guys can raise money or figure out how to come up with money for your business. Okay? So what's one way, if you own a business, you can get money? What kind of fundraiser? So we're thinking like bigger businesses here. Like when you guys develop your product or service, a little bit bigger than that. You're on the right path, a little bigger. All right, so there's websites. It's a good start. There's websites like GoFundMe. Have you guys ever heard of GoFundMe? Or fund? There's one. So write down number 4. Write it down on number 4. Write fundable.com. fundable.com. Okay. So those websites are called crowdfunding. So what you do is, let's pull one up here. You go on them, and people can give you money to help grow your business. Okay, so like in this example, this is Fundable's website. And you can also write down GoFundMe if you want. Also, GoFundMe they usually use like it's more for individuals. Like I know people have gone on there to try to support people if they're going like on certain trips, maybe for school or their church or something, or if somebody's sick, they might send up GoFundMe pages to help pay their medical bills. I've seen those examples. All right, take a look up here. So this is the Fundable website. So like I'm on their browse section. You can just go through and these are all businesses, okay? And so let's just find a good one. That's a bar. We don't want that. Alright, so what it'll do is company's information is listed, and then you kind of set how you want to fundraise for. So this one's set to private. So they only take like accredited investors, but some other ones that aren't set to private, you can go on and just anybody can give them money to help raise money for their organization. Okay, so make sure underneath number 4, which is Fundable, you write down that it's a form of crowdfunding. Write down crowdfunding under your notes. Number 4. Okay, what's another type of way a company can raise money? Or just get money to loans. Okay, good. So write that down number 2. Loans. Or from lenders, okay? Where do you get loans from? Banks or financial institutions. Write that down underneath loans. Banks or financial institutions. Okay, or there's a good website, and we talked about this in chapter 6, if you remember, where you're talking about small businesses and entrepreneurship. SBA.gov. So write down number 1. So for number 1, write down Small Business Association, which is SBA. SBA.gov. It's a Small Business Association. Okay, so then underneath here, or underneath the SBA for number 1, make sure you write down loans and grants. and then write down the website again, which is sba.gov. Okay, this website's good because it'll give you information on, like I said, loans and grants. So everybody look up here real quick. Okay, I can click on loans and grants. There's all kinds of different programs if you guys are interested in looking at that once you start your business. And there's different lender resources as well, ways to find sources for financing, so like venture capitalism and research grants and other things. Okay. All right. So we have 3 of the 4. What's the last way you could raise money? It's similar to the fundable one, but not a website. So what's the term for somebody that gives a business money to grow? An investor. Okay. So number 3 right now, investors. So that would be like, I was trying to pull up I had a good clip of Shark Tank in this computer here won't work. Remember we watched that Shark Tank clip where they go in and pitch an idea? I'll still try to pull it up while you guys are working on your business thing, and then if it pulls up, we can stop and look at it. Okay, and then also write down Shark Tank would be an example. Write down like local business investors. So there's people actually like within South Bend that have money that have been successful that reinvest their money back in local businesses to get them started. Okay, so to refresh real quick, we have Small Business Association, loans, investors, and then crowdfunding sites like Fundable. All right, so does anybody have any questions on raising capital? Okay, so let's take a look at your business plan real quick. All right, so the front page basically shows what's all going to go into it, how you write it, okay? And then if you continue on to the second page, we have our general company description. That's things like mission statement and just kind of still an overall products and services, legality stuff, which you guys will get into in a few chapters. All right? And then on the bottom of that page is a marketing plan. So that's where this chapter is very important because it kind of starts you guys off on your final project here. Okay, so the plan, we talked about research. I just gave you guys some thoughts today on that. You have your notes on how to research for products. Okay, so today you need to get in your groups, all right, and start maybe brainstorming lists of products or a product or a service that you're going to try to use for your business plan. It's something that you are creating, so it has to be unique. It has to be different than something that's already out there. Okay? So go ahead and get in your groups, and then we'll work on that for a little while. If you have questions, just ask. So once you pick your product or service, maybe start thinking about or looking into researching how you're going to raise money for it, and then start working on your marketing strategy. Think about the 4 Ps. Again, product, price, place, promotion. Those are very important. Start thinking about those things. So you got to start with your product, develop that, or service, your product or service, and then work your way through them. I think it's the teams we worked in the other day. Remember when you guys, like a little bit before spring break, you guys worked on some stuff as far as, I don't remember, I was observing. What were you guys working on?
The poster?
No. She had you guys work. It was when I was out for a few days. I was observing other classrooms.
I was gone like that week.
I don't remember what you guys were working on. Okay, so the groups I have written down would be Chalet Sierra, Danny Daquan, Matt Indiga, and then Kevin, Brianna, and William. Because I think you guys were all gone that day, so I think the rest of you guys kind of picked based on some stuff. I remember she had you guys fill out papers that about your interests or things in business you might be interested in, and then she used those to match up, kind of because you guys probably wrote down similar interests.
Yeah.
Yes, no, okay, yes. All right, so there it is. See, it's the same paper I have. So those are the groups. So Danny Daquan, Matt Indiga, Chalet Sierra, and Brianna. Unfortunately, your partners aren't here, so you can choose a product or service, and then Kevin and William decide to show up. They're doing whatever you want to do. I'm good. What? So you have your business plan here. today you need to start thinking about the product or service you're going to come up with. Now your partner's not here,
So
but
it's not
you get
completely.
what's that? Yeah. So you got to create. You're going to start brainstorming some ideas right now, and then put it to the bottom of the second page, kind of your marketing plan that we talked about, and then fundraising in those terms we just talked about. So just right now, you guys are just getting like a rough idea. So that you don't have to put anything like in effect right now, but start just brainstorming different things and take notes so you have an idea of what you're doing.